You're watching the HaverfordWest Towncast. Welcome to Towncast Haverfordwest, the first of many, hopefully. So the first one planned for today, I guess, is to give you a flavour of what a Towncast is. With the other Towncasts, I'm doing a Christmas market special. So I've got a Christmas market events guide kind of lined up for Haverfordwest. So we'll go through that and then we'll kind of talk through what a Towncast is, how you can get involved, and then we'll finish with some sport, which is what we always do on that. So, yeah, if I'll throw this one up there at the start. Any questions, any queries, anything like that, you can email me on ilovetowncast@gmail.com. My name's Lee G. Or you can message us on the Facebook page, anything like that. Just get in touch. It's cool. Okay. So I'm going to start straight away then with the events page. Yeah, it's a good one to start with, really, because usually the events page is about kind of, I don't know, 4 or 5 events long, maybe a little bit more. Depends if there's something special going on. So to start on a Christmas one where we've got lots to talk about, loads going on, it's a really good one. So the main kind of Christmas market at the minute is the Pembroke one. So we'll come to Haverfordwest ones in a minute, but the main Christmas market in Pembrokeshire at the minute is the Pembroke Christmas Market. That's on 28th, 29th, 30th of November. The Friday one, I think they've extended the hours there. So it's 10 till 8 on the Friday, 10 till 8 on the Saturday, 10 till 4 on the Sunday. Santa arrives at 6:30 on Friday for turning the town lights on if you want to come. Saturday is always very busy. Sunday is a bit more condensed and also really busy. Parking is usually, I mean, the Commons car park in Pembroke is really long. But it has been flooding the last couple of days with all the weather and things like that. So worth checking closer to the time, but there are other places to park in and around Pembroke on that. So this is what happens when you have a successful Christmas market. So that's the main Pembroke Christmas market. So this is the Westgate Gallery Market. This is right outside Pembroke Castle. Literally, as you come out of the castle, it's on your right hand side. This is local-based artists, pottery, knitting, uh, uh, jewelry, that kind of thing. So that's if you're going to go to one, you may as well do two. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. 20th, 29th, 30th, 10 till 9 on the Friday. So that's a late opening on the Friday, 10 till 7 on the Saturday. Again, a little bit later as well, and 11 till 5 on the Sunday. But the good thing with that is it is very much local based. And then, like I said, this is what happens when you have a very successful Christmas market. We have a third market in town in Pembroke on those days. So this is 11 till 3 on the Friday, 10 till 5 on the Saturday, 10 till 4 on the Sunday. This is in the town hall, which is about another 100 steps away from the castle, so not too far at all. And this one is a bit more kind of individual, bit more quirky, stuff like that. So yeah, if you go into one, may as well make a day of it and go to all three. So if you're thinking about traveling, I have got some Haverfordwest stuff on it. I'll give you an idea of how I started doing the Christmas events. So I started searching and I got all the main ones, the 3 or 4 really main obvious ones. I was thinking there must be more than this. There's got to be more than this. There's got to be more. And then the Facebook algorithm kicks in, and that's all I had for every time I went on there. There was another one. So I just literally snipped them and put them in. So they're not in any particular order. They're just like, oh my God, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. And I want to get as much on there as I possibly could. So this one is Newport Memorial Hall. This is up north if you fancy the trip. So 22nd and 23rd of November, 10 till 4 in the main hall. Lots of local markets. I want to call them artisan sellers, jewelry, blankets, soap, chutneys, always lots of chutneys around. Um, Hot drinks, if you get a chance to try a rum hot chocolate, I suggest you do because that is more information available on newportmemorialhall.co.uk on that one. So this is one that may interest you as well. This is a bit further afield. This is up north as well. This is at the Penrath Garden Centre Christmas Market, 6th and the 7th of December, 10 till 4. All the usual things, but if you're in that kind of part of the county or you fancy a trip to the middle of nowhere, then that's good for you. This one I like in Scolton Manor, a Dickensian Victorian Christmas. So it just gives a little bit more. It's a point of difference. It's something that's a little bit out of the norm. And what we're talking about this about making memories for mainly for the little ones, but also those of us who are young at heart, shall we say. So yeah, the Victorian Christmas at Scolton Manor, Monday the 1st through Thursday the 4th of December, Wednesday the 10th, Thursday the 11th. Traditional Victorian games, parlour games, making crackers, gingerbread men, all of those kind of things. £4 per child. You do need to book. So if you've got little ones and you're around on those days, well worth booking on those. I like this one as well. This is at Scolton Manor as well. This is on November 22nd. So there's only two sessions here, 10 and 11. And this is in the cafe at Scolton Manor, but this is like using natural making Christmas cards, making Christmas decorations, but using natural ingredients. So color dyes and things like that. And it's a really good. So I've seen this done before, and it's a cracking way of doing things, and it does change your perception of things when you'll be out for a walk with the dogs after, and you'll go, "Oh, red berries there. I wonder if I can." Wonder if I can crush them down and make, or if I dried them, I could crush them down, or you'll see the kind of leaves changing color, and you go, well, I could maybe take some. It's a really great way of doing things. And if you're looking for an experience for the kids, this is a really good thing. Or for adults, it doesn't say kids. Oh yeah, it does. Children's festive. Well, just pretend that you can't see the word children and just go because it's great. Oh yeah, I loved it. I love that one. Something else that might interest you in Carew Castle. So Carew Castle has got Santa in the. There's a whole load of Santa's grottos and all of that. That's kind of like your standard one. So what I'm trying to do is find the different ones, find the ones that are a little bit unique and that offer a little bit of a different experience. Visiting Santa's grotto and in the middle of a decorated castle is a little bit special on that. So you've also got the Carew Castle Glow, which is kind of like a festive light show walk through kind of a thing. Really interesting. Really, it's a couple of hours, if that. It's on in the evenings. It's usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday through November into week before Christmas. Well worth having a look at. If you haven't done it before, this is a really good starting point. So you'll see some of the bigger ones in the big cities and what have you. So this is a scaled down version, but it's a lovely thing to take the kids to, and it's right on your doorstep. But you do need to book on that one. So you've also got this in Clarbeston Road, which is Christmas card printing workshop. Now, I don't know too much about this. It popped up on events. I thought that's quite cool, printing your own Christmas cards and things like that. So if that's something that is of interest to you, have a look on Facebook, search on Christmas card lino cut printing workshop, and you'll come to this. So that's on December the 6th at 10 a.m. So again, go back to kind of Father Christmas and the grotto. So Picton Castle have got a traditional Victorian Father Christmas before certain branded drinks got hold of the colour scheme. So he's running from 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd of December. Important bit there is that after the kids break up from school. So it's a little bit more kind of, you've got a bit more time through the day and what have you. Um, Festive crafts, decorated castle, the Elf Door Trail. That sounds quite interesting. And of course, mulled wine on that. But again, it's about the experience. It's about having something which is not just going, sit on the knee, hello, what do you want for Christmas out here? It's a little bit more of an all-round experience on that one. Um, 6th of December as well. So luxury wreath workshop at Roach Castle with the floral ghost. So I've not got much more information than this, but if you go onto the Roach Castle Facebook page or their website, that'll give you a bit more information than that. But this is really becoming a thing, making your own wreaths and getting to that stage where you can like personalize it and go, yeah, we all do wreaths. We all have a wreath. I'll be honest, I'll put my hands up. I've had a plastic one most years, and then last couple of years we've switched to uh, a natural one. Um, and yeah, does the idea of making your own, if you've got the time, making your own wreath, yeah, that sounds cracking. That is, you can make it from your garden, from your walk. You can just, it's all of that kind of stuff is in there if you've got the time. So if that's your sort of thing, then that's absolutely there. Roach Castle, well worth having a look at that. You've also got one on the 30th of November at Hilton Court Gardens, in the tea rooms at Hilton Court Gardens. Again, go onto the Facebook page, have a look, because it's a thing. It's a new thing. So this is going back to Picton Castle again then. So they have got a few other bits and bobs going on. November 22nd, 23rd, Winter Craft Fair. Looks like that's the weekend for it. December the 6th, we got a wreath making workshop there as well. And December 18th, now this is the bit I like. So Christmas by Candlelight. I think, I might be wrong, but I think that's songs and carols by candlelight. Again, have a look on their Facebook page. But if that's the sort of thing that kind of floats your boat, then that might be ideal for you on that. If you fancy traveling a little bit further in search of a truly unique present, so Melon Gwent Christmas Fair is this weekend, 15th and 16th of November, 10 till 5 on the Saturday, 10 till 4 on the Sunday. Lots of local stalls and artisan makers and crafts and what have you. If you don't know what Melon Gwent is, so Melon Gwent is an old school mill, woolen mill, but it still makes its own blankets, its own shrugs, its own cushions, and things like that. But sells all over the world, and that's right there on your doorstep. You can save the postage and packing and go in and pick one up yourself. So yeah, well worth a visit because of where it is a little bit out in the sticks. It's a little bit up to north. It's in Castle Morris. Um, it's well worth just going and seeing. If you're looking for a unique individual gift, this is a really, really great place to start. And they got a cafe where I'm willing to bet there'll be mulled wine and mince pies. So bring it back to Harford then. Haverhub are asking for your support. On the 27th, they will be basically decorated. But I love the idea of everybody in the town kind of getting together and decorating a community kind of resource. I think that's the way all of us should be. So yeah, decorate, have a hub for the festive season. Mulled wine. I mean, the mulled wine makers must be absolutely keen in it at the minute. Festive snacks and an end of year quiz to keep the holiday spirit going. A great kind of way you're doing it on that. So yeah, if you want to get involved, that is on 27th of November, 5:30 till 8 on that one. So St. David's Church in Prendergast are having a festive pigs in blankets and mince pie coffee morning on the 6th of December. That's from 10 till 12. And then now I'm going to be honest with this one. I don't know where this one is actually based. Oh no, yeah, that's the one. So this is on December 20th, Cafe Number 5. Forgive me, as a we'll come on to this in a minute. I'm not from West. I am. I was born in West and lived in West till I was 5. I don't know where Cafe Number 5 is. I know what it's part of, and I know the ethos behind it, which is why it's such a great thing to have and to promote. Breakfast with elves in a calm, sensory-friendly environment. So if that's what you're looking for, and a little bit less of the noise and excitement and all of that, then this is ideal for you. So that's 10 till 12 at Cafe Number 5 on December the 20th with that one. So the big lights switch on. This is about as far from that as you can possibly get. So 29th of November, the light switch on is at 6 p.m., but the festivities start at around midday. Um, so Santa and his sleigh, Sparkle the elf and all of his friends, sweets, games, and giveaways, lots of things, bouncy castle, fireworks display, um, Elsa and Anna, that's the one I was for, and then live performances. So if you go onto purewestradio.com, you will find out more about this. I think they're the hosts of it. They're certainly a key part of it. Does it say they're the hosts? They're usually the hosts of it, and the rest are sponsors. But it's going to be another fantastic day in Haverfordwest, well worth going to. This is a pretty much standard one now. This is, and I put it in here because as parents, you want to make sure that your kids have a really, really good uh, Santa experience. Okay. And if you want to really nail it down, well, Folly Farm, Folly Farm have got it nailed down. They know what they're doing. The presentation of it is good. The organization of it is good. You've got the reindeer outside. You always get a decent present. They know what they're doing. So if your kids are just getting to that age where Santa's the most exciting thing on the planet, then this is a good banker. This is a good one to have in the pocket where you can go, do you know what, we'll do Folly Farm, we'll do Santa, we'll do they can run around the indoor play area, we'll do a little bit of the fair, and they'll sleep for at least 2 hours. Yeah, So well worth adding that to your Christmas must-do list on that. So a little bit more kind of grown-uppy adult things. So next week we're going to be doing more of a Christmas party nights and Christmas food kind of vibe, sort of a thing. But up at Creek Glass, there's a few other things going in there as well. So you've got Christmas Fair on the 30th of November, the Speakeasy on the 6th of December, Tea and Carols on the 7th, the 12th and 13th are party nights, Christmas Carvery on the 14th, and then afternoon tea on the 20th. We'll cover a lot of that next week as well, but it's the Christmas Fair and Santa's Grotto that I wanted to show you on there. Bringing it right back home, the Agricultural Society have got their Christmas fair. I told you there was a lot, didn't I? Saturday, Sunday, 14th and 15th of December, 10 till 4 up at the county showground. Lots of the usual stuff, craft stalls, Santa's Grotto, you've been a very busy boy, festive music, all of that kind of stuff, and a food court there. So, yeah, well worth adding that one to your Christmas list as well. And this I like as well. So not necessarily a an event, but all the shops in Solver kind of get together and go, right, on this night we're gonna stay open late and things like that. So Dropping Under the Stars on the 27th of November in Solver. So if you're struggling to get to the shops because you're working hard all day, that might be a good option for you as well on that. So normally, what we do in this event section is we cover lots of the things going on in the town. So I just want to give you a flavour of some of the other things that might be going on. This one kind of is Christmas related, but so it's not a fair, so that's why this one is in there. 13th of December, this is one to put on your list. The Three Amigos Christmas Toy Run starts at 1 o'clock on the Commons. If you go onto the Town Council, so HaverfordWest Town Council Facebook page, they've got where all the drop-offs are on that unexpected times and whatever. If you haven't seen that one before, it's good. Not one for sensitive ears though, that one. Other things going on in the near future. So 13th of December, we've got a record and CD fair. Why is that in there? Because that's a great place to get old people interesting gifts. Old records. They're that old that they're coming back into fashion. So what a great place to go. Um, and then this as well. This is as far away from Christmas as you can possibly get. Philosophy in the Wild with Beth McIntosh. So this is run by Haverhub. So doors open at 7, starts at 7:30, 14th of November. So that's this weekend, this Friday. But yeah, it's just go onto their Facebook page and have a look at it because it's a really interesting way of approaching life, put it that way, of philosophy of the wildlife, of how the two connect and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, go onto their page and have a look at that. Okay, I am going to stop sharing that point there. So normally what we would do at this point is we'd roll into our little segment, a little chatty segment. Which I'm not going to do this week because, like I said, I'm not from Haverfordwest. And the reason I set Towncasts up was so that people could talk about their town and people could shout and scream about how fantastic their town is and say, look, this is what we got available. But also to talk about the stuff that's important to you as a town, as your residents, what's important to you. So the first section that we try to put into this bit is called "I Remember When." So I remember when I was born in West, and then I lived there for 5 years. I used to live in Dreen Hill. So if any of you live in Dreen Hill, I used to live in Dreen Hill before the Masons was the size it is now. It used to be a very, very small two roomed pub, and you as kids we weren't allowed in the main pub, so we had to sit in the side room with these two giant Weimaraners, and yeah, I love it now, but back then, oh my lord, I was scared. So yeah, you might want to talk about, I remember, I don't know, horse races on the race course. So, some people just think it's called the race course because it looks like a race. It used to be an old race course, but you might talk about things from history, how the layout of the town. So my main experience of Haverfordwest was being born in, what was it called, in the hospital before Withybush, up the hill on the right there. So um, St Tom, no, it's by St Thomas Green. It might have been St Thomas. I can't remember. I was born. Yeah. So you might want to talk about things like that and how it kind of sparks off some memories. And we all love kind of think about, do you remember this? Do you remember this? And the weird bit with this, okay, is that I'll start talking and then something will just pop into my brain. I'll go, oh my God, yeah, I remember this. Um, which which has happened quite a few times when I've been doing the Pembroke and Pembroke one. So yeah, that's kind of how we move on from there. And then we get into the chatty bit. Now the chatty bit is really where the Towncast started, and it's the main issue in town this week. So if you were in Pembroke this week, it would be flooding. It's in Haverfordwest, it might be, let's start with the bridge. Let's start with a new bridge, and let's get some facts out there. Might be the castle, might be what's happening with the castle, and let's talk about that. There's a ton of things, but this is why I want local people to get involved, because it's up to you. You will know what the important bit in your town is. I don't. I can give you things, think about this, think about that. But for me, that's where having local presenters really is important, because you know what's important to people in there. So then the final bit, then we'll have a little chatty bit and all of that kind of stuff. Um, and then we'll do a little bit on the end, which kind of leads into social media and connects some of the social media for the rest of the week. We go, wouldn't it be nice? So for me, and I don't understand why Haverfordwest hasn't done this so far. I can kind of get it now, because there's a lot of work going on in the town centre and what have you. But wouldn't it be nice if Haverfordwest had an ice rink, or a winter ice rink somewhere, somewhere near, somewhere in that town centre, where we can kind of base that around there, even if it was only open on the weekends. But I think the problem with the ice rinks is that it's got to be a consistent thing. Defrosting and refrosting takes a lot of time and effort. Um, but wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to just have some that special bit where, part of your childhood in Pembrokeshire, growing up in Pembrokeshire, is going to the Haverfordwest skate rink on one weekend in the year. I just think it'd be, wouldn't it be nice? So, and that's how we kind of finish those sessions. Wouldn't it be nice? Let's talk about that on social media. So, that kind of gives you the start of the show. We finish off with the sports results, which I will do in a minute. But if any of this is kind of resonating with you, if thinking, "Do you know what, this one, yeah, I might fancy a crack on that," email me on ilovetowncast@gmail.com, and we'll get you up and running, and we'll get this guy. Three is the magic number. Having three people on a podcast just to talk about stuff, and one of you might do sport, one of you might do events, one of you might control the chatty bit, things like that. There's loads of different ways we can do this. The important bit is it's got to be local led. Um, so I'm starting it. So I'm not doing the local stuff. I'm just going to do the easy bits at the minute. But even the events, you'll be looking at those events and going, yeah, you missed this one, you missed that one, and if you were local, you'd have picked this up. So though that's the kind of knowledge I want to bring to the show. So if you fancy it, you can drop me a line. I love towncast@gmail.com. If you're just thinking that, this might be good fun to listen to in the future, this will be the kind of thing that we need. Please do just subscribe below. I can never remember which side it is, but subscribe below. Don't smash it. Don't bash it. Anything. Just subscribe. Just touch the subscribe button. You'll be fine. It does the same job. What it actually does is it tells YouTube that there are people in the area that are like you, that like this. So other people in the area that are like you may also like this, and it'll say, "Hey, do you want to watch this?" What it does for you is it lets you know when one of our episodes goes live, so you don't have to track for it on social media. You don't have to remember what day it is, because we will quite often, tweak our days according to availability. Um, so yeah, it'll just tell you, look, hey, you've got another episode from Towncast to watch. So yeah, and yeah, our page will also be, lots of other places around the county. So if you want to stay in touch with other places around the county, this is the way to do it as well. You may have, like me, you may have started living in Haverfordwest, moved to Pembroke Dock. I lived a little bit in Tenby, now living in Pembroke. I got family in Milford, family in Fishguard family. I got friends in um, Narberth. I got family in Tenby. So there's all just keeping an eye on what's going on in the county. Or you might just be nosy and you just might want to know what's going on in the county. So yeah, if you can hit the subscribe button, like our Facebook page, that would be tickety boo lovely jubbly. I'll love you forever. Honestly, I will. Okay, I'm going to do some sports results now. Okay, so I usually start with rugby, simply because I played rugby longer than I played football. I played both. But this website here, allwellsport.co.uk, is probably the best um, place to go for rugby, football, cricket. If you've got any other sports that you would like us to cover, please let us know. Send us in the results or whatever, because yeah, the more sports that we cover, the better on that. Okay, so you can see there that there was no game for Harford last week. Milford were in action. I'm just going to cover on Milford for this one because Milford will get its own um, Towncast at some point in the future. So I'll probably cover a little bit of Fishguard as well. And the same thing with Fishguard. They will get their podcast at some point as well. So where are we in the table? So West are in fourth on 18 points. But there's a game in hand there on Llandilo. So yeah, overtaking Llandilo, more than doable. Two games in hand on Tumble. So again, that's doable as well. Um, but it does take a win. That's what it needs. Milford sitting one place below West, and then Neyland another place below them again. Neyland have only played four games. Um, 1-2 lost to sitting on 11 points. West played six, won three, lost three. So, I think they're both safe from relegation because Narberth Athletic and Ammon United look like they're really struggling. But one of those three is going to need to kick on and go up. If you're going to challenge, now's the time to start challenging. So fixtures coming up. So obviously we're in the middle of the rugby international, autumn international season. So games do tend to slow down a little. The next game for West is Trimsaran at home, and the next game for Milford is Narberth Athletic away. So if you just look at where that is, Trimsaran have won two from six, Narberth Athletic have won one from seven. I didn't see a game for Neyland there, no. So it's always the same as you get to this point of the season with that. Okay, so quickly flick back to Division Two, just because I said I was going to cover Fishguard. Fishguard beat Nancaredig 38-22 last weekend, which leaves them kind of well, exactly mid-table on that, 12 points. And next fixtures for Fishguard, so they're not playing on the 6th of December. Next game for them is on the 13th of December at home against Tikroish on that one. So if we drop down to 4 West, so you'll see St. David's. St. David's will get its own podcast as well. St. David's beat Tenby Athletic, so it's Tenby seconds, 1915, and Crumach Bulls beat Llanabother 59-17. So again, Crumach will get its own podcast. So yeah, so just to give you an idea of where Crumach are. So this is the championship, which is the league in between Division One and the Premiership. Bottom of the table, struggling a bit, but yeah. Next game for Crumach is at home against Trebanos. Trebanos fourth in the table, Crumach bottom. So yeah, bit of work to do for Crumach there on that. So let's have a little looky at the football then. Here we go, Pembrokeshire League. So you're going to have to forgive me on this one because there's a lot of teams to think about. And in my head, I've just kind of got to go, oh yeah, that's relevant and that's close. So um, these are results from 8th of November. So Clarbeston Road lost 6-3 at home to Narberth. Hakin had a decent win away in Fishguard Sports, 13-2. So I've got rugby score. And St. Ishmael's beat Tenby 5-1 as well with that one. Where does that leave everyone in the table? Hakin top on 30 points. St. Ishmael's in fourth. We've got Goodwick in fifth. Clarbeston Road in sixth. Merlin's Bridge in eighth. Fishguard in ninth. Yeah, and that's kind of our teams there. So fixtures for this week. Fishguard travel to Carew. Carew was struggling, so that should be a decent win for Fishguard. You've got Clarbeston Road travelling to Goodwick United. Should be an interesting game. This is the key game of the weekend here. Hakin against Moncton Swift, first versus second. That's going to tell us a lot about where people are going to finish at the end of the season. So this one's travel to Colgetty, and that's it for Division 1. Okay, Division 2. Results from 8th of November. So Hakin United Reserves beat Carew 3-1. Herbronston lost 3-0 at home to Neyland. Johnson beat Camrose 1-0 at home, and Merlin's Seconds beat Goodwick United Reserves 1-0 at home as well. Milford United 2, New Hedges Saundersfoot 1, and then Solver lost 5-2 to Moncton Swift Reserves there as well. So where is everyone in the table? So I'm just going to leave that on there because pretty much everything in there is quite relevant. Hakin, Milford, Neyland, Camrose, Johnson, Goodwick, Solver, Merlin's Bridge, Herbronston. Yeah. Fixtures for this week then. So 15th of November fixtures. Camrose host Merlin's Bridge Seconds. Herbronston hosts Solver. Johnston hosts Moncton Swifts. Milford United host Goodwick United. Hakin travel to New Hedges Saundersfoot, and Neyland host Carew Reserves on that one. Dropping into Division 3 then. Results from last weekend. Camrose Reserves drew 2-2 with Loreni. Letterston beat Broadhaven 5-0. Haverfordwest Cricket Club beat Penna Robbins 5-1. And Clarbeston Road lost 7-0 at St Clair. Clarbeston Road Reserves lost 7-0 at St Clair's. Where does that leave everyone in the table? Tenby top, Cricket Club second, Pembroke Borough, Loreni, Broadhaven in fifth, Pendine sixth, then St Clair's, Clarbeston Road Reserves, then Camrose Reserves, Letterston, and then the table's being propped up by Penna Robbins seconds and Kilgetty seconds. So fixtures for this weekend. Clarbeston Road Reserves host Kilgetty seconds. Broadhaven travel to Loreni. Letterston host Pembroke Borough. Pendine host Haverfordwest Cricket Club. And then Camrose Reserves travel to St Clair's. I told you this was difficult, wasn't it? I tell you. So into Division 4. Games there. Then Johnston seconds took a bit of a kicking off Manabee United. They lost 10-3. Milford Athletic drew 3-0 with Prendergast Villa. Milford United Reserves lost 3-1 against Slint Florence. Newport Tigers beat Solver Reserves 5-4, and St Ishmael Reserves drew 1-1 with Fishguard Sports Reserves. So quick run down the table here then. So St Florence top, followed by Angle, then Fishguard, Newport, Milford Athletics, St Ishmael, Milford United Reserves, Johnston seconds, Hundleton, Neyland Reserves, Prendergast Villa, Manabee United, and Solver at the bottom. Fixtures for this weekend. So Fishguard Sports Reserves host Johnston seconds. St Florence travel to Hundleton. Milford Athletic host Angle. Milford United reserves host Prendergast Villa. Solva reserves host Newport Tigers, and St Ishmael reserves host Neyland reserves. On now, one left. People, stick with me, stick with me. So results for Division 5. So West Cricket Club reserves 7-0 winners against Letterston reserves. Milford United thirds lost 3-0 away at Loreni reserves. And Prendergast Villa seconds won 4-3 at Broadhaven reserves. Top of the table is Milford, Prendergast in about fifth. Seventh is Milford United, thirds, then Herbernston reserves, Broadhaven reserves, Letterston reserves, and then Milford Athletic reserves, dropping the table up at the bottom. Fixtures for this week to finish off then. Broadhaven reserves host Herbernston, West Cricket Club reserves host New Hedges and Saundersfoot. Milford Athletic reserves travel to Kilgetty thirds. Letterston reserves travel to Pembroke Borough reserves, and Milford United thirds travel to Prendergast Villa seconds on that. And that is how we do the sport. So you can see, if sport is your thing and you want to be involved, you want to kind of do sporty things, then by all means give us a shout. I love towncast@gmail.com. If you just want to do one of the sections, then yeah, you're more than welcome to come and be a part of the team. So yeah, that is kind of it for this week. So next week we'll do the events listing next week will be all around Christmas menus. So if you know anywhere that's releasing a Christmas menu, or anywhere that's got Christmas parties going on, anything like that, drop me a line, tag us on the Facebook page, and we will more than happily talk about that next week. In the meantime, then, that is it from me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you will join me again next week. And in the meantime, keep yourself safe. Have a great week. All the best. Ta-da.